rehab so many times, and every time he'd be doing great, and then it would just fall back. I mean, you've heard the same story from a million people.
When Rick Harrison's son, Adam, tragically passed away, the world thought it was just another heartbreaking story of loss. But when his family opened the door to his hidden garage in Las Vegas, what they found inside stunned everyone. It wasn't chaos or emptiness. It was a secret world filled with haunting clues, buried emotions, and shocking discoveries that revealed who Adam Harrison truly was. What lay behind those doors would leave even his family speechless. The world of reality television was shaken on January 19, 2024 when news broke that Adam Harrison, the 39-year-old son of porn stars legend Rick Harrison, had been found dead inside a guest house in Las Vegas. The discovery sent shock waves not only through the entertainment community, but also among millions of fans who had followed the Harrison family for years. According to news outlets, police received a call reporting an unresponsive male. When authorities arrived, it was confirmed that the man inside was Adam Harrison, the second son of Rick. What followed was a flood of heartbreak and disbelief from both the family and fans around the world. A family spokesperson, Laura Herlovich, released a short but emotional statement to the media. "Our family is extremely saddened by the death of Adam. We ask for privacy as we grieve his loss." The words reflected the deep pain of a family that had already endured immense loss in recent years. Rick Harrison, known for his calm and confident demeanor on television, posted a photo of himself with his late son. The caption read simply, "You will always be in my heart. I love you, Adam." Those few words captured the sorrow of a father mourning a bond that even fame and fortune could not protect. The Clark County Coroner's Office later confirmed what many feared. Adam's death was ruled an accidental overdose caused by the toxic combination of fentanyl and methamphetamine. The report brought renewed attention to America's growing drug crisis where synthetic opioids have claimed thousands of lives each year. Rick Harrison stood before the world not as a television star but as a grieving father. "Yes, I can confirm Adam died from a fentanyl overdose," he said in a public statement. "The fentanyl crisis in this country must be taken more seriously." His words were filled with anger, pain, and helplessness. The kind only a parent who has lost a child can truly understand. Over a year after Adam's passing, Rick opened up in a deeply emotional interview on In Depth with Graham Benzinger. His eyes carried the exhaustion of sleepless nights and endless what-ifs. "I think about him every day," Rick confessed. In his 20s, he had drug problems. "God, I put him in rehab so many times and every time he'd be doing great and then he would just fall back. You've heard the same story from a million people and it got really bad. Apparently, it wasn't heroin he got. It ended up being fentanyl. It killed him." Rick's voice broke as he remembered the painful cycle of hope and heartbreak. Every time Adam seemed to be improving, addiction would pull him back into its grip. "The thing is, when you lose a kid, you second-guess everything," he admitted. "Could I have done this? What if I had done that? There's not a day I don't think about him." His words revealed the torment that haunted him daily. The endless replaying of what he might have done differently. In another heartbreaking memory, Rick recalled the time Adam broke into his home, desperate and lost. "I figured maybe if we put him in jail for 2 months, it'll clean him out, but he just went straight back on it," Rick said. "You try to give them tough love, but God, you just never see the overdose coming." His frustration mixed with guilt as he admitted, "It's hard. There's no instruction book with kids. They're all different models." For Rick, the grief was a wound that never closed. Fame, success, and fortune meant nothing in the face of such loss. "There is nothing worse than losing a kid," he told people. Friends and family recalled how Adam's behavior had grown erratic in his final days, even barricading himself inside the guest house where he was later found. Though Adam was never a regular face on Pawn Stars, he had worked in the gold and silver pawn shop in his early years. Unlike his brother Corey, Adam stayed away from the cameras and the fame. He preferred to live quietly, far from the spotlight that had made his family household names. Yet behind that quiet life was a story few knew. When Rick's family opened the door to that small guest house after his passing, they found far more than sorrow. Inside lay a world of hidden pieces of Adam's life, a window into a man whose struggles and secrets made his story more complicated than anyone had ever realized. While Pawn Stars made the Harrison name famous around the world, one member of the family chose to remain quietly in the background. Unlike his older brother Corey, who became a regular on the show and grew into a recognizable television personality, Adam Harrison preferred a life away from the cameras. Adam kept Avery low profile and never appeared on Pawn Stars, even though he was once part of the family business at the gold and silver pawn shop in Las Vegas. Adam was the second child of Rick Harrison and his first wife, Kim. The couple had married long before Pawn Stars became a household name. Their marriage began when Rick was still very young. He became a father for the first time at just 17 years old. Life was not easy for the young couple who faced financial struggles in their early years together. Rick worked long hours to support his growing family, taking on several jobs before eventually finding success through the porn business. But despite their shared beginnings, Rick and Kim's marriage did not last. As Rick's ambitions grew and his pawn shop began to flourish, their relationship started to fall apart. They eventually divorced and both went their separate ways. Rick later married again and had another son, Jake, with his second wife, Tracy, while Kim continued to live a quieter life away from the media spotlight. Adam's childhood was shaped by these early family changes. While Corey became closely involved in the family business and stayed beside his father as porn stars gained fame, Adam drifted in another direction. He had worked at the pawn shop for a time, but eventually decided to step away. He preferred privacy over publicity and chose to build a simpler, more personal life away from the glare of fame that surrounded his family. Those close to the Harrisons say Adam had a kind heart and a deep curiosity about the world. But he also carried emotional weight from his parents' separation and the pressure of growing up in a well-known family. In his 20s, that struggle began to surface in more serious ways. Rick later revealed that his son started battling addiction during that time. Every time he'd be doing great and then he'd just fall back, Rick told People, describing the painful cycle of rehab and relapse that defined much of Adam's adult life. While his father and brother stood before cameras and negotiated deals watched by millions, Adam lived quietly. Far from the chaos of television sets and celebrity attention. He avoided fame and sought peace in his own small world, focusing on simple work and personal interests. Yet what the world didn't know was that the space where Adam lived, his quiet refuge, was not just a room filled with pain. Behind those walls lay something more profound. The garage connected to that guest house was not a scene of chaos, but a glimpse into his hidden world. A place filled with meaning, memories, and secrets that would completely change the way his family remembered him. When Adam Harrison passed away in January 2024, investigators found him in a small guest house tucked away in Las Vegas. According to TMZ, he had been living in his unit for only a short period, perhaps a couple of weeks. It was not part of his father's main home, but a separate modest space where Adam had been staying quietly away from the glare of fame. Roommates later told reporters that they hadn't seen him for days. He had told them he was ill and quarantining. And when he stopped responding, concern grew. The landlord eventually opened the door and discovered Adam unresponsive. The guest house was small and unremarkable from the outside, a place that mirrored Adam's quiet nature. But what was inside revealed far more than anyone expected. While the main house of Rick Harrison in Summerland is known for its luxury, including an 11-car climate-controlled garage that holds his collection of classic cars, Adam's space was much humbler. Rick, who often showed off his prized vehicles, such as a 1940 Chevrolet and a 1966 Imperial Crown convertible, had built a life around collecting rare items of historical and personal value. Adam, in his own way, had done something similar, but in private. Unlike his father's showroom-style garages filled with gleaming cars, Adam's garage was a personal museum of memories and curiosities. Reports described the area as organized and carefully arranged. It was not a chaotic room filled with forgotten clutter. Instead, it held pieces of Adam's mind and soul. There were shelves stacked with old coins, vintage tools, and antique signs. Each item seemed to have been chosen deliberately, reflecting his lifelong fascination with history, a passion clearly inherited from Rick. Among the collectibles were several motorcycles that Adam had worked in himself. Some were complete, while others were half-finished projects, frozen in time, as if waiting for him to return and continue the work. The smell of oil and metal still hung in the air, and the sight of these bikes under dim light told a story of craftsmanship and quiet dedication. This garage wasn't about wealth or showmanship. It was about purpose. It was about a man who found comfort in fixing things even when he couldn't fix himself. This environment echoed the world Rick Harrison had built through his gold and silver pawn shop on 713 South Las Vegas Boulevard, a place where every object held a story. Adam had grown up surrounded by that belief, and his garage was proof that he carried that same spirit within him. He might have rejected the fame of porn stars, but he never lost the curiosity and respect for history that defined his family. Yet, for all the beauty and order inside that garage, there was another side to it. A side that no one in the family was prepared to see. Because tucked away beneath the neatly arranged collectibles and motorcycles were things that told a much darker story. Hidden among the antiques and personal items were traces of the private battles Adam had been fighting, silent reminders of the struggle that had consumed him. Among Adam's belongings, they found letters and journals that revealed an entirely different side of Adam. These weren't just random notes or scribbles. They were deeply personal reflections written during some of the most difficult moments of his life. Inside the pages, Adam wrote candidly about his struggles with addiction, his guilt, and his longing for peace. He spoke about the pain of letting his family down, and the quiet hope that someday, somehow, he might make things right. Some entries were filled with self-reflection, showing a man who knew his demons all too well, but was still searching for a way to defeat them. Others read like confessions, letters to his father, his mother, and his brother. Words he never had the courage to say out loud. According to insiders close to the family, these writings carried a tone of both heartbreak and honesty. They revealed that Adam wasn't simply a man consumed by addiction. He was aware, self-critical, and desperately trying to claim control of his life. One passage reportedly described how he often sat alone in his garage, surrounded by his collectibles, hoping that the quiet hum of the tools or the glint of an old coin might distract him from his cravings. In Anatha, he wrote about feeling like a shadow in his own family, loved but unseen, present yet misunderstood. Rick later said that Adam had written things he didn't mean anyone to find. Those words haunted him. They showed how private Adam had become, how deeply he bottled up his emotions. Reading through those letters was like stepping into Hisson's mind, a mind torn between love and despair, awareness and addiction. Rick remembered one of the hardest moments as a father, when Adam's addiction had spiraled out of control. "I figured maybe if we put him in jail for 2 months, it'll clean him out," Rick told the New York Post. But he just went straight back on it. The pain in his words was clear. He had tried everything: rehab, tough love, patience, but nothing seemed to reach Adam completely. Those letters confirmed what Rick had long feared, that addiction was a battle Adam had fought mostly on his own. The writings painted a portrait of a man who was not lost, but was constantly fighting to find himself again. They showed a spark of hope even in the darkest hours, a belief that heckled still change. But as the family continued to explore that garage, the discovery of these letters was only the beginning. Investigators also found a space that told two very different stories. On one side, there were carefully arranged collectibles, old coins, tools, and motorcycles gleaming under the soft light. It was clear that Adam had poured his heart into organizing this place. But on the other side, there was something much darker. According to a news outlet, police found drug paraphernalia next to the mattress where Adam had been sleeping. There were 2 small vials, pieces of foil with residue from pills, lighters, and plastic straws. All grim evidence of a private struggle that had taken over his life. The contrast was painful to look at. This was not just a garage. It was a reflection of Adam himself, a man who collected history and beauty while battling an addiction that was slowly destroying him. In one corner sat the motorcycles he had worked on with care. In another lay the instruments of his addiction. The order and chaos existed side by side, showing how his passions and demons had shared the same space. The presence of fentanyl in that garage painted an even more tragic picture. According to reports, fentanyl is one of the most powerful synthetic opioids in existence, up to 100 times stronger than morphine. The Drug Enforcement Administration has repeatedly warned that as little as 2 milligrams can be fatal. That means a dose small enough to fit on the tip of a pencil can take a life. For Adam, one wrong move, one misjudged moment was all it took to end his story. Rick Harrison struggled to come to terms with what the police found. He had always believed that his son's addiction might be beaten with enough effort, enough love, or enough time. But the discovery of those items inside the garage shattered that hope.